it was really on my heart to talk about autism. And hey mommies, it's Centeria George here from HeyMillionaireMommy.com. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about autism. I want to share my experience, give you a couple tips, and possibly some encouragement. So if that's something that you're interested in, keep watching. It was really on my heart to talk about autism. And to be honest with you, I wrestled with it a little bit because a lot of people associate autism with maybe someone having a mental disorder, and that is absolutely not what it is. So just to do a little bit of housekeeping, or I should say sum up what autism is, just so that you, if you're not sure, you have a little bit more to go off of. And then I'm going to give you 3 myths that are commonly associated with autism. We're gonna burst those myths today, just for the sake of staying on track, and we're going to use this handy dandy notebook. So what is autism, right? Autism is a disorder that affects the way that an individual communicates, or that how they interact with other people. From my personal experience, I've had an individual say that my son was sick. So my son is a 5-year-old, and he was diagnosed with autism about 2 years ago. And I think that that's a very common myth, because it's not the first time that I've had someone say something like that. And to be honest with you, another common myth is that I couldn't tell that you were autistic. How do you tell that someone's autistic? Like, it's not a skin color. It's not a badge that you wear on your sleeve. It's how you interact with others, It's how you communicate with others. So I thought that was just an absolutely weird myth. And I've had someone say that to my son. He didn't look, or say that to me about my son. He doesn't look autistic. Okay. And last but not least, the third myth is he'll grow out of it. So I had someone tell me that, he's just a little weird. He'll grow out of it. Get out of here, right? Slap him. Tell him to get out of your face. Just kick rocks. So those are 3 common myths, and that's a little bit about what autism is. All right, enough of that. I am a 33-year-old single mother of 3. That's a lot of threes. I have a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 5-year-old. My 5-year-old was diagnosed with autism almost 2 years ago. We started the process when he was about 2. His pediatrician started noticing some symptoms, or common symptoms, of autism. And she kept saying that we should go and see a specialist. Her version of a specialist was a speech specialist. And to be honest with you, at the age of 2, I thought, well, this was my 3rd baby, so I don't consider myself to be an expert, but both of my children spoke at different times. They both develop at different times. I figured that, well, everyone develops differently, and I don't want to put him in a box and say that because he's 2 and he's not doing something that 99% of other 2-year-olds do, means that there's something wrong with him. I don't believe in putting everyone in one category, because we're all individual and we're all unique. His daycare provider, she was saying that she noticed, some pretty, how do I say it? She noticed some things. She noticed that he wasn't speaking. She noticed that he would play by himself. So he would always isolate himself. He didn't play in groups. He wouldn't participate in groups. The other children would try to invite him to play, and he would never, he wouldn't. He wasn't interested. And at 3, I started to really think about it. By that, and so she had a couple of students that were going to school I believe they were interning at a psychologist's office. And so they did a couple studies, and they thought that maybe that he was delayed. And I remember getting that paperwork. After receiving all of the analysis of their studies, I just remember thinking, okay, what they do is they allow you to take a look at the paperwork before they discuss it with you. And in my opinion, that's the first wrong. You discuss it with me, and we go over the paperwork at the same time. That way, any issues, any thoughts, any questions, any concerns that I may have, you can address them at that moment. You don't let me go home and sit in my feelings and stew about it. You correct those issues or those problems, or you answer those questions. You address it at that moment. And that's really, really important, because I don't know about you, but I can be in my feelings. I will sit and have a whole pity party all by myself. So it's really important that, in my opinion, it's really important that things are handled in a very, how should I say, things are handled very carefully, very, very carefully. And I feel that for in my experience, that wasn't done. So I took a look at that paperwork, and I thought, oh, he's delayed, but they were saying he was significantly mentally delayed. And I thought, but he's not, and at the time he still wasn't speaking. He was 3 and he wasn't speaking. We started going back and forth to therapy, and he wouldn't speak to any of the therapists. We went to therapy for 6 months, and he said 1 word in 6 months. And the funny thing was, I thought, what is it that I can do to help him to speak, right? And I do know that there are nonverbal children, not nonverbal, and there's verbal autistic children. So originally my son was thought to be nonverbal. And it wasn't until about 4 years old that he started talking. What I did was I went online, I went to Dollar Tree, I went to YouTube, obviously. I went to just about any store that you can think of. And my goal was to find tools and different workbooks that would help me to help him. And I also have a video in which I talk about, or I show you some of the tools that we use. So he went from not saying anything, like he said nothing, absolutely nothing, to, within a year or less than a year, about 7 months, he started talking. And I thank God every day that he's able to talk. And to be honest, some days I'm like, man, why did I do that? But we really surrounded him with language. That's all we did. We surrounded him with language. And I know there's somebody out there gonna say, but girl, I'm surrounding my baby. I'm talking. Everything that you do for your baby is not on your time. It ain't on your time. So I know that you're working hard. I know that you're putting forth the effort. I know that you're really, really, really digging deep, trying to do the best you can, right? And you're doing an awesome job. It's not on your time. We started with sign language. And so I taught him, food or eat. And I quickly learned that he would use the sign language, but he really wouldn't make any effort to make those sounds. Like, it just wasn't happening. So what I started doing was, if he wanted something, he had to say something. Something got to come out. If you want it, you want it, what you gonna do for it? I remember he'd say j, j, and oh, that was good enough for me. J was juice. Could J have been Jiffy peanut butter? Probably. Could J have been pizza? Maybe. Could J have been fruit snacks? Possibly. But we took it at juice, and it worked because he seemed to walk away happy. When you have a baby, they don't come home with the instruction manual, and they don't, right? But then to have something like this hit you in the face, it's even worse. Like, it gets really, really, really bad. I realized early on that the way that I saw my son and the abilities that I perceived him to have, others didn't. Others immediately, they limited him. Like, I didn't even start telling people that he was autistic. The fact that he may not look them dead in their face, oh, something's wrong with him. Or the fact that maybe when he said something, it came out as a mumble instead of a complete sentence. Or if they couldn't quite understand what he said, people are very quick to dismiss your child, and then they will turn around and dismiss you too. And that's hard. That's hard for a lot of people. It was very hard for me. That is something that I punished myself for. I punished myself because I wasn't sure whether it was me. And this is so true. This is honestly true. I wasn't sure whether I was creating children with issues. My second child was born with Erb's palsy, which is paralysis, and it so happens to be paralysis of her left arm. I thought it was me, right? It wasn't me, but I thought it was me. And I suffered with that for quite a while. When I realized that Caden, this was going to be an uphill battle for us, I just remember I started sinking back into that place. I call it the hole. You dig down really deep, and you kind of wiggle and, you know, bury yourself, get comfortable. I mean, you get real comfortable, and you bury yourself neck deep in dirt, and you kind of just sit there, right? And it's a form, a lot of physicians call it depression. It's just a really rough spot in your life. For me, I'm a single parent, so all responsibility falls on me. Because I have to take so much more time to speak with him and to articulate so that he can hear the words and pick up on language, a lot of people wouldn't go places with me. I'm proud of me. Yep, I'm proud of me, and I have handled this situation extremely well, considering the fact that this is a rough one, right? And I'm doing it on my own. So that's a little bit about my experience. I wanted to also give a couple of tips that I have noticed really helped me. So the first tip that I would give is to breathe life into your child or your children. Diligently work hard to support them. So whatever support looks like for your children, you have to work hard at it. I understand that everything that you're working for, it might not manifest right away. That's all right, because eventually it will. And that leads me to my second tip is stay focused. Yep, you know what it is that you're here to do. This is a beautiful baby that you have. It is a gift, right? Everybody can't have children. Everybody can't. Focus on the fact that you were given an absolutely beautiful, amazing gift. Your number one job is to support this baby. Your number one job is to make things work for this baby, whether that's school, whether it's learning how to, I don't know, play sports or practicing writing or defining those boundaries. Whatever it is, you can do it. You can do it. You need help, reach out. I'm here. You can reach out to me. I hope that if any of you are experiencing the problems or the issues that I've gone through, or really maybe you're frustrated, whatever it is, reach out. But this wouldn't be your journey if you couldn't handle it. Listen, I almost can't believe I just said that, because just the fact that you're even looking at this video, you're amazing, just like me. So just keep going. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell if you'd like to see more videos like this, or just comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see. Let me know if you have an autistic child. Let me know your experiences. Tell me your journey. Let's get some dialogue started. Also, don't forget to check out my website, which is heymillionairemommy.com. It is my blog where I speak about motherhood, I share recipes, and just wellness, right? Wellness to keep us going, because Lord knows we need it. So until next time, have an awesome day, guys, and I'll see you in another video.